And he was so frustrated. I still have the text to this day, where he literally was like, I'm tired of this. Like, somebody needs to create this. I feel like I'm the person that can do this. Like, nobody else is focusing on providing sandwiches made with lettuce. And at the time, he was just thinking about lettuce. He didn't know about Swiss chard and turnip. You know, that was something that, you know, Ryan really was like, this is going to take it to the next level. But at the time, he was like, there's nothing without bread. Nobody's focused on it. It's just like one option on a full menu versus like the entire menu. So he said that, and I was like, you know, I believe in you. I think you could do this. As a matter of fact, I want to help. Like, I have the marketing background. You know, I'm interested in entrepreneurship and VC. I'm in business school. You know, I'm trying everything out. And I was interested in tech, but I was like, I think I have that background. And I also let him know, I was like, you know, we got friends that are setting up shop in Detroit.
What up, though, Black Friday family? Welcome back to another installment of the Black Fridays podcast. As you can tell, we are on location in a beautiful restaurant that has been started by none other than Miss Elsie Howland. How you doing today?
Oh, hi, everybody. Doing so well. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited.
Absolutely. And this is truly a wonderful space. We are sitting inside of the flagship restaurant of Breadless, and want to know first, before we go any further, if you can introduce us to who LC is, and then also what is Breadless.
Absolutely. Hey, everybody. My name is LaTresha Chantel Howland. That's what the LC is from.
Oh, that's what the C from. Oh, okay.
The secret C.
Okay.
I am the owner, co-founder, and chief communications officer of Breadless. It is a 100% gluten-free restaurant here in Detroit, and we have another location in Rochester Hills. We focus on leafy super greens, and we want to make sure that people get vitamin-packed, nutrient-rich food in their systems.
Fire.
That tastes good, of course.
Exactly.
Flavor.
Exactly. And I can definitely vouch for it. The food is amazing here. And
shout out to the chefs. Shout out to the staff.
Yes,
they're amazing.
Yes. And shout out to your other co-founders as well.
Co-founders. So my co-founder and chief executive officer is my husband, Marc Howland. And co-founder and chief product officer, the man behind the menu, is Ryan Salter.
Yes. And y'all definitely did y'all thing as far as the menu goes, and always adding creative items to it. And I can vouch for it. The food is on point, and it's definitely worth it. So if you're in the Detroit area, we're just going to get this out the way early, but run it back towards the end. Give them the location where they can pull up to the different locations in Michigan.
So in Detroit, you can pull up to 2760 East Larned Street. It's a beautiful location, has indoor seating, patio vibes, especially for the summer. Great parking. We also have a location in Rochester Hills at 181 South Livernois. So definitely check us out. Either one, it's going to be popping.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know South Livernois was an area, so
apparently in Rochester Hills it is.
Yeah. I'm out here slipping.
It's low-key crazy. We're Breadless, and we're next door to a Panera Bread, so that's a little something that's going on that we didn't anticipate. But we're friends. We're all friends.
Yeah. Well, you got something for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Something for everybody.
Exactly. So definitely appreciate being able to be in the space, and then love the work, like I said, that you all have been doing.
Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, I want to introduce you to my favorite segment of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Fridays. And I know you like to turn up. I know you like to have a good time.
Don't play with me. I love a good cipher. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh my God.
You know how to beatbox, right?
I don't know how to beatbox, but I got bars.
Oh, okay.
Got bars, man. Hopefully it'll be all PG.
All right, so we don't have to say that for the next time. But Freestyle Friday is a random assortment of questions. Ooh. They're all about you, and you shouldn't get them wrong.
Okay.
All right, and I just got 2 rules. You answer each one, and you answer honestly.
Got you.
All right, let's do it. So we are sitting in Breadless.
We are.
However, I would like to know, what's your favorite sandwich?
All day jerk city chicken.
Yeah. Let's start with that. Let's start with the Breadless menu, and then I want to know what's your favorite sandwich that involves bread.
So my favorite sandwich is the jerk city chicken. It's now called the jerk and mango sandwich. It's on a bed of collard greens. It has a fresh mango salsa, mangoes, cucumbers, just pepper jack cheese and barbecue sauce, and it's just freaking delicious. It takes you to the islands, but we're right here in the city.
Fire.
And I don't know what to tell you about the breaded sandwich. Maybe a Philly cheesesteak when I'm in Philly, when in Rome, you know what I'm saying?
That's safe. That's safe. I like that. So you and your husband are both co-founders of this wonderful establishment. I would like to know, who would you say is the better chef?
Oh, neither one of us. I'm gonna tell you, it's definitely gonna be Ryan. Ryan has that all day. He wins. But okay, if we're at home and I'm cooking something like for real, like I'm making some oxtail, jerk chicken, curry goat, that's all me. But Marc is really good at scrambling eggs, frying eggs, just boiling eggs, just eggs. He's the egg man.
Egg man.
So we both have our strengths. For sure.
I like that. And y'all like to get out and about. So where would you say is your favorite place, or in recent memory, that you like to travel?
Like to travel? Oh, that's a good one. I would say one of our favorite places is Cabo. We've been around the world. If I could go to Ghana every day, I would. If I go to Bali every day, I would. But something that's more accessible and just for a nice chill out, recently for us has been Cabo, Mexico.
Dope. Very dope. And because you get out and about in the city as well, where's like your favorite place to go and hang out? That's what I thought you were about to
ask me. Yeah. Everybody who knows me knows that my favorite place is Spotlight Detroit. It's in the Eastern Market area. It's the best for, musicians and DJs. They come, they do their thing. You can dance, you can feel good. It's come as you are. They've got the indoor, they got the outdoor, they got a little cave situation. By day and during the weekend, they have an artist market, and I'm really into art. They also have a record store, coffees, drinks, pretty much everything. And I'm usually there either Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I love, love, love Spotlight Detroit.
Nice. I got to check that out. I've never been. So.
You got to come through.
For sure.
Tonight is a good night, too.
Oh, say less.
Shinola. Their Spotlight is the move.
Say less. And last but not least, congratulations, you are a newer mother.
Thank you.
So I wanted to know, what would you say is your favorite mommy moment, if you could think of one right now?
Oh, man. My favorite mommy moment is every day when we wake up. She... I feed her, but she gives me little mommy, like, slobbery kisses. Aww. Like, I'll pick her up, and she'll come in with her head. She doesn't really know how to pucker up her lips, but she'll just put her lips on my face. And it's so sweet. It's so precious, and I live for that every morning. I wake up because I love waking up with her.
That's dope. That's beautiful. Well, congrats to you. You successfully passed Freestyle Fridays.
Hey.
So
next time I'm doing bars. That's what I was ready for.
No, we gonna. I gotta make some exclusive content. And then we got to actually get the guest on there rapping.
I got you.
And I'm starting with you. No, matter of fact, I'm making Black Fridays mixtape.
Please.
And you doing the intro.
I'm down. I'm ready. All day.
So getting back into the business aspect of what it is that you do, I know that you are the CMO when it comes to like your title in Breadless, but you also have a background in advertising for well over a decade. And I was curious as to, how did that prepare you for what it is that you do in your business today?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So as you said, like, I studied advertising and business marketing when I was on the East Coast, undergrad at Boston University. Then I went to New York and I worked in commercial advertising. I worked on radio scripts. I did copywriting. I did brand side. I managed whole marketing launches for the food industry and retail industry. So being able to do that really set me up to be able to manage teams for marketing. So we have everything from content creators, the actual folks taking photos, the actual folks that are helping us with our branding elements, even things that you see in the store. Like everything is intentional, the copy, the designs, the grout in our physical locations. Also have managed many shoots, many commercials for Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Nestle Waters, Nespresso, things like that. So when it comes to how the brand should look, it's very, not easy, but it's familiar for me to be able to work with our content producers and photographers and brand teams for that. Also on the copywriting side, I work with, social media engagement managers who are able to, work on that, do our posting cadence, have a multi-channel, multi-platform, sort of strategy across Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and what have you, soon to be on YouTube Shorts. So, all of those things really help me to be able to know what's out there, stay in the mix, and also learn new types of media that would be relevant for food advertising specifically. There's a lot of folks in a in the foodie community. You'll have influencers that stop by the store. So knowing how to engage with them, because I did influencer marketing for other brands prior, really helped me to be able to do that, and also be able to teach my team how to effectively advertise.
Absolutely. And one thing that you all have done is build a very effective brand, and then also like marketing strategy around that and what it is that you do that's true to it. And one thing that I noticed, me and you both are in have marketing backgrounds, and I wanted you to know if you could talk about a little bit how much those details matter, because like you mentioned, in your downtown Detroit location, even down to the grout, like that everything has a purpose. Absolutely. How things look, how they're presented, and how it all relates back to what the core and the essence of the business is. So why those details matter for anybody listening that's trying to build a brand or take their brand to the next level and might be able to incorporate some of that.
Absolutely. So shout out to our branding agency, Solvent. We worked with them before opening this location. And Marc, Ryan, and I, with our counterpart Kojo on the brand side, really thought about, okay, we have to make a great product. That is the number one thing. So again, the staff and Ryan with putting together the food is important. But when you think about something that you want to have longevity, so it's not just going to be one place. You see it, really being a culture changer, being a brand that can go anywhere, that can hopefully one day be nationwide or franchise nationwide. You have to start with every single detail to, what's our icon? Ours looks like, I don't know if you can see it over here. Oh yeah, you see it right there. Yeah. It's an abstract of the Swiss chard, which is our signature leaf. And the Swiss chard, if you look at it, it has rainbow vein colors. So it can be yellow, magenta, or green in the vein. So we put that in every single element because you want it all to tie back to each other. At least we did. And we want it to be young and cool, because we are millennials. I'm not that cool, but I do like color. I do like pop. You want to stand out in such an oversaturated market space. So how do we look different? How do we make sure that we look premium and elevated? All of those things were thought about for a year before we ever opened up our brick and mortar. Even our merchandise. There's not a lot of brands or food, fast casual, quick service restaurants that will have merch. Merch. Yeah. And we really have a lot of fun with that. I mean, we've got our shirts. Everything's better wrapped in greens. We got the Detroit hoodie that you can see, with our little secret icon right there, we have these quarter zips, hats, we really want every single thing to be a celebration of the brand, whether you're eating it, you're wearing it, you're coming by, you're chilling at the pickup desk and appreciating the grout of the, we want every single thing to be a brand experience, and that should be in the physical world as well as the digital world when you see us.
Absolutely. And taking another step back, would you be able to tell us, how did this even come about? Who comes up with a concept to say, we need a fast casual style restaurant that caters to people who are have certain dietary restrictions, or, I might be giving some of it away, but if you could shine some light on, how was this even a discussion in your household with your business partners and how it came to be?
It's a great story. So that one, I got to give all the credit to Marc, my husband, co-founder, CEO. This came from him. It came from his head. It came from his experience, his lived experience of, not eating bread for over 10 years before he came up with Breadless, and really struggling to find options out there that were made for people that, couldn't eat bread. Maybe they're celiac, maybe they have trouble digesting it, or they're not eating it for aesthetic reasons. When I say aesthetic, you're about your fitness. Right. So he was one of those people. And, we lived in New York, and it's a fast-paced environment. It's very easy to get bready sandwiches and bagels and salads and things like that. But it was more difficult when he's going to restaurants and saying, can I get a burger without the bread? Can I get a sandwich without the bread? What he got back was, super inconsistent. People would side-eye, have a little attitude. They got to go figure it out in the back. It's always a production. He was just I'm kind of tired of this. So when I came back to Michigan to get my MBA at University of Michigan, Ross School of Business, go blue.
National champions.
Hello, period. Such a good year for us. When I was in school getting my MBA, he was out, traveling, and he had one of those experiences of trying to get something without bread. And he was so frustrated. I still have the text to this day, where he literally was like, I'm tired of this. Somebody needs to create this. I feel like I'm the person that can do this. Nobody else is focusing on providing sandwiches made with lettuce. And at the time, he was just thinking about lettuce. He didn't know about Swiss chard and turnip. You know, that was something that, you know, Ryan really was like, this is going to take it to the next level. But at the time, he was like, there's nothing without bread. Nobody's focused on it. It's just like one option on a full menu versus like the entire menu. So he said that, and I was like, you know, I believe in you. I think you can do this. As a matter of fact, I want to help. Like, I have the marketing background. You know, I'm interested in entrepreneurship and VC. I'm in business school. You know, I'm trying everything out. And I was interested in tech, but I was like, I think I have that background. And I also let him know, I was like, you know, we got friends that are setting up shop in Detroit. Like, we should go talk to our boy Ryan, who we met in New York, who was doing a catering business in Detroit that was highly successful. Like, we don't have the culinary background. We don't know how to execute for food, but like, let's go talk to him and let's see what really can pop. So that was kind of the foundations. In 2019, February 2019 is when Marc, you know, talked to me about it. And then I think around like April, May is when we talked to Ryan about it. And then we fast forward to like June of that very year, we incorporated the business and we were like, no, we about to go do this and beta test and let's get it going.
So you were able to almost get immediate use out of your MBA.
Absolutely. It was action-based learning. It was hands-on learning. We were in the kitchen of my apartment on campus, testing stuff out, tasting Swiss chard, like tasting, you know, different balsamic vinaigrettes that Ryan would have us taste. And, you know, Marc he is the type of person that, you know, he comes from a financial background. He worked in investment banking. He worked in private equity. He's also a Harvard MBA. And he's one of those people that's the hardest workers that I've ever known. And he can really like work on anything for like 23 out of 24 hours a day. So knowing him, having that skill set, we knew that like we had somebody and we had something that would go far, because there's no way that it wouldn't with that kind of character.
Right.
So we were like, let's do it. Let's test it at Michigan. Ryan had a lot of relationships in downtown Detroit. Let's test in Detroit. I had the Michigan relationships. Marc would roll up to gyms, like literally just roll up with brown paper bags of breadless sandwiches. Like, can I sell these to people that are working out? And they would he sold it to them and they were like, I like that. Where is this place? We don't exist yet.
One thing that we had this conversation earlier on, like when Breadless was starting to roll out, but one thing that I know that you all did a wonderful job at doing is being able to tap into a lot of the resources in and around the city in order to make this happen. So really want to know like how you all have been able to leverage your community, and then also some of those resources, organizations, programs, grants, all that type of stuff, whatever you are comfortable sharing, to let people know like how they might be able to formulate something like a Breadless, because number one, restaurant industry and having a brick and mortar, neither of those are easy, as I'm sure you know way better than I do. So I'm curious, like what different pieces can people use to enable themselves if they want to be in this space, if they really want to do it and do it at a high level, and give some background on how you all did it. Absolutely.
That's a really great question. I can say that the city of Detroit has been immensely helpful, amazing advocates, evangelists, in so many different ways, from programs like Motor City Match, where they actually, you know, invest in businesses and you have a cohort of other like-minded entrepreneurs across different categories to go through the program with sharing learnings. You know, that program was amazing. I would say Retail Boot Camp at Tech Town was a really, really great resource for us as well. Detroit Economic Growth. So many, the city of Detroit, the city council, the mayor, like everybody really came through to like experience Breadless, spread the word. We also received, you know, support and investment from the Dan Gilbert family of companies, as well as Detroit Venture Partners. There's so many different organizations, and I'm definitely not going to be able to name all of them. But speaking of Detroit specifically, I think that they invest a lot in our businesses. I do think they do a great job, as well as focusing on Black-owned, minority, women-owned businesses as well, making sure that they have a place in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So it really was something out of this world to be able to open this location in the heart of COVID, a physical location when so many different businesses were closing. Still seeing the resurgence of businesses that were opening and, you know, coming out of that whole scare. We were one of those. So we're super grateful for that faith and investment in us, because we wanted to invest in our communities by having good food to eat that's good for you. I will also say other networks that we looked at, if you're in school, if you're an alumni, definitely tap into those collegiate networks. For me, being at Michigan and being an alum of Michigan, I worked, with the Zellery Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies. We were in the Michigan Business Challenge. We also, I was an Applebaum Fellow, so the Applebaum family, they do a lot of philanthropy. They also invest in a lot of invest energy and resources and a lot of like new up and coming ideas, whether it's, medical device entrepreneurship or food or software and tech. Yeah. Applebaum Fellows has been amazing. They've catered Breadless as an alum. They were there to help me refine my pitch and elevator pitch during, while I was in school. Those are great networks as well. There's just so many different things that you can do, whether it's leveraging courses at Coursera, talking to your alumni networks, talking to businesses, learning from your peers. But really, you got to be on the ground, I would say. Like our first year, we were relentless with trying to find opportunities. So whether we're being a vendor at a backyard or what is it, like a block party. Yep. Marc and I are both Greek. He's a Noop, I'm an AKA. Leveraging those networks as well. Just trying to get our name out there in any way possible. I would say you got to be scrappy as an entrepreneur. You got to be able to, talk to a little bit of everybody if you can. That can be a struggle if you're like an ambivert like me. Not so much difficult for Marc, who's an extrovert. But you got to be able to always constantly promote. So that's something that I would tell any entrepreneur for any business to be able to overcome and work on. That's huge.
And throughout your journey, you've been able to see some of the fruits of your labor by being able to, do a lot of those things and have your boots on the ground in terms of building this. And I'm curious as to a big moment that stands out for you in your mind. Like you had some powerful people in here. You dropped some powerful names in terms of the resources that you use. So I'm curious, like what sticks out in mind for you in terms of the journey that was like a big moment for y'all?
Oh man. Okay. So lots of big moments. I would say a couple of them to name is when Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist came to Breadless. That was really exciting for us. I mean, we love
fellow
him.
Michigan alumni.
Right? Go Blue. We love him. We love Big Gretch. So just to see that he even knew about us and that, we later learned that his office caters from Breadless and orders us all the time. That was really validating for us. We've also had Senator Cory Booker in here three times. And he's a vegan, like that goes to show, okay, our vegan and vegetarian options or build your own options, they really resonate. And every time he's here, he has whoever's working here
gotta get a Breadless, call us, get a Breadless
like, I'm back. And like, he doesn't even live here. So that's a huge honor. I mean, we're not like, Morton's or whatever steakhouse. Like we're a quick service restaurant, but we're attracting the names and likes of that. Other big moments for us is when we first got into Little Caesars Arena.
Yep.
And I think I saw you.
Yeah.
You came through.
Yeah, I had to pull up for sure.
We were at LCA for about almost 3 months in the winter last year or the year before last, and that was huge because it's showing people who come out to Pistons games, Red Wings concerts, like what is this? What's Breadless? Or maybe they don't live here in Detroit, but they knew about it or they heard about it, so it's giving them an option to try it. Also, when we've been at Comerica for the past 2 years, and we're also going to be there this summer, we've had a vending stand at Comerica Park. So those are all like really big moments for us because it's an extension of our brand. It's showing that, big names and big areas, are attracted to our small brand, and the people like it who experience it. So it just shows that we can have wings as long as we just, stay true to the product, still have, our staff is amazing. They are just, we call them tastemakers because they make it tasty every time. So those are moments that stand out. There's so many others. Obviously, the final one was, opening our second location in Rochester Hills this past October.
Dope. Dope. You got to put that on a shirt. Make it tasty every time.
Make it tasty every time. We need a new t-shirt.
That's a new shirt.
I like that. Definitely.
So you've been pretty open about this, at least in conversations that we had, but I also feel like in other spaces as well. But in terms of being an entrepreneur and then also managing a full-time job as well. So I wanted to know if you could talk about that workingpreneur life. What does that look like for LC?
I like that. Workingpreneur.
Yeah, they call them workpreneurs or workingpreneurs. One of the
That's
one
right.
of the
Okay,
other. Yeah.
I'm gonna take that and run.
So I always, anytime I get a chance to engage with guests who have that type of lifestyle, I'm always curious. I also I'm familiar with that and being in that space.
Clearly.
So yeah. So wanted to know, like, what is managing those two different worlds like for you?
Absolutely. It's so funny that you asked this because I feel like when I'm in Detroit, they have no idea that I work full time for Microsoft as a senior product marketing manager. They're like, have no idea.
Yeah.
And then when I'm at Microsoft in Seattle, they're like, wait a minute.
What you doing here?
You have a restaurant? So it's funny. It's like I'm living a double life. But for me, it's been really fluid. I work in tech. A lot of the things that I work on are similar to my marketing background, being able to launch a product, being the mini COO, chief operating officer of a product, working cross-functionally. Those things are transferable skill sets from my previous work and what I do at Breadless. And for me, it's all about having boundaries, and then also like being able to time manage very efficiently. So I'm very methodical. I'm a type A person. I schedule my breaks. Like I'm one of those people. It's on my calendar. It's my break. Don't play with me. But like, because I work at Microsoft and we're in the East Coast time zone, I'm 3 hours ahead of all of my work colleagues out in Seattle. So the morning time, I usually have to be able to focus on Breadless related matters. So from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., I could be working on, our social media calendar. I can be scheduling shoots, doing shoots, having founder meetings.
You got a little buffer.
Yeah. And then I'm able to, 12 to the evening, work my job at Microsoft. And so it really works out really well. But I would say also, being in a startup, being in a small business, you have to be able to rely on your team. And we have a really great team. We have, not only my co-founders, we have a director of operations, we have amazing store managers. On the corporate side, on my marketing team alone, I have 2 content producers, I have social media folks, I have a local marketing associate to build relationships. We have people that go off-site, our off-site personnel. So we have been able to build a team that can support each other so that there's not so much just, on one person or on one unit. And then also like at home as a wife and a co-founder, it's funny because investors, friends, people were like, you should not go into business with your spouse. You should not, it's a bad idea. You should not be in business with a person.
Haters. Oh,
hey, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you and your wife are amazing and y'all do it. We know we can do it. So it was actually difficult though. Along the way, I challenged that from the very beginning. I was like, nah, F that. I want to say a different word. I did say a different word, but I was like, no, F that. I don't believe that. I think that we could do it. It could be hard, but like there's the way that our relationship works, and like I was always going to be doing this either way. If I was in this or not in Breadless, you're going to come home and talk to me. We're going to talk strategy, and even work with Ryan as well. We were friends before this, and like it really helps to round it out to have the 3 of us. But at home, I would say you just need to have boundaries. Like we're not talking about Breadless right now. Like, after 8:30, or like I'm doing my work over here. We dealing with baby right now. You just got to have your boundaries and openly communicate. And I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to work with your partner in life.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You got to know what works for you, obviously, and then what works for your relationship. Everybody's situation is different. Some people may work better in silos. And it's like, well, you do your work over there, I do mine over here. We come together and we're a family.
Exactly.
Other people work excellent together or are able to be of the same space and mindset like you and Marc, and just meeting both of y'all and having a chance to interact with y'all, and both MBAs and students of the game, so to speak, like y'all are in that same mode. So it makes sense. It makes absolute sense. But I love what you said about the boundaries piece. Like everything don't have to be about business. Like we have a whole life that is built, this is incorporated into life, but we have life outside of this as well.
Exactly. And I want to harp on the life outside of things. Even if you're an individual, like I am very much about. And you know, you could quote me, like, you got to be able to have a life outside of entrepreneurship, a life outside of corporate America, and a life outside of wifehood and motherhood or, you know, parenthood. Like, you have to have your own time as a person as well to be able to manage all of these different things. Cue in the wellness. Like, Marc and my family were like, okay, you're a mom now, you have 2 jobs. You need to have time set aside that you could just free your mind. So I paint. Tuesdays is my turn up day when my mom's out there. Like I said, Shinola and Spotlight tonight if y'all about it. But you have to have the room and space to do your own thing. I'm on the board of the Detroit Institute of Arts, on the Michigan Science Center. Like, I love science, I love arts. So I make sure I fit those things into my schedule where it's just me doing that as well.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I need to get better at that. Like, I make that time, but I need to do the calendar and the whole schedule.
Color code it up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you can.
Right.
Or whatever works for you.
Right. Get the calendar on my phone together. I've gotten better at it, but I need to be more, I need to actually put in, like, you need to eat lunch. You need to go play video games.
You ain't got to be as crazy as me if that don't work for you. But I'm like, I got to compartmentalize.
Definitely. So as far as moving forward in the business and life, what do you feel like you see in your crystal ball that's next for LC, that's next for Breadless, because we already talked about how you all expanded, and I'm sure that's a part of the continued goal, but really want to know, like, what's your big picture? What do you see in your crystal ball?
Oh man, that's a good question. And if I were to tell you 100%, I would see 2 things at once. For LC, I think that is growing out our marketing capabilities at Breadless, really being able to train on a team that can run autonomously, you know, over time, like really building up young folks that want to learn from a marketer who's done tech, who's done food entrepreneurship, who's done advertising. Like, I really want to teach that next generation so that they can be leaders of something that's going to be, I really think will be, you know, a nationwide brand. And then, you know, in the same realm, I want to do that on the tech and STEM side as well. Like, I see myself being a leader in the tech world and, you know, mentoring others to be able to advocate for themselves, learn, have that growth mindset to be set up for success in that realm. For Breadless at large, as we discussed, I definitely see us honing in our craft. Like, you got to be able, before you go far and wide, you got to work out the kinks where you are. So this is a different operation. Nobody has ever done this sort of operation for a restaurant at all. Like, it's easy to freeze bread and have longevity. Right. Dealing with greens and fresh ingredients and, like, the shelf life is different. So, like, how do we, you know, so how do you make sure that you have the operation so tight and so well that you can be able to copy and paste in different markets, you know, in Metro Detroit, in the Midwest, you know, all of those different things, supplier relationships, vendor management. So those are the things that we're thinking about, like, and gonna start honing in on even more because we know we have something here and we want it to go far and wide. But first, we got to make sure that stuff is in place. So that's what we're focusing on.
Absolutely. And I believe you 100%. And I know that you are going to continue to grow and do amazing things. And I was really excited about this interview. Like, I was telling my wife, like, we were trying to make it happen for a while.
I'm so glad. Thanks for bearing with.
Of course. I understand life. Like, you know, the hustle is real. And one thing I was thinking about, like, while we're here having this conversation is that you were one of the first people that, like, I interacted with when we got at Microsoft. And, you know,
Yaddle gang.
We started our own, like, Black new hire group and being able to have those conversations, and just the fact that it's so dope that, you know, you reached out, you're like, oh, you on the call, you said you're from Detroit, and then, you know, we had that connection, figured out we knew people in the same circles. And
your wife's best friend was my childhood bestie.
Exactly, who was in our wedding. So in the wedding, and, like, it's the connections is real. But just thinking about the fact that we were able to go to school, get our education, do what we needed to do, also get our MBAs, and you being in this entrepreneurial space and having these opportunities, you, Marc, Ryan, people from the city who are actually, you know, from the city. And it's just really dope to be able to see that, because, you know what they say, we ain't supposed to be here. Like, we kids from Detroit. Like, that's not
Detroit
supposed to be.
Detroit is taking over the world.
We are.
313 to the world.
We are.
Versus everybody.
Exactly.
Or with everybody if you want to get on with us.
Right. Right. So I'm just grateful because that's just amazing to be in this space, be in this brick and mortar, see the work that you, Marc and Ryan are doing with the brand, and definitely look forward to seeing all the wonderful things that you all come up with in the future. So I appreciate you taking the time to invite us in your space.
No, thank you so much for having us. We're humbled for the opportunity. We're, grateful that you saw us as somebody that, to talk to. And thank you for being part of the journey as well, from supporting, from, patronizing us. You got the hoodie on.
I got the hoodie on. I had a bunch of sandwiches.
Yeah. Staying tuned in the story. Like, we're all in this together, and I'm all about all of us moving forward. So I'm so glad to be on. Thank you for having me. I had a great time. I was nervous, but I love seeing the city win. I love seeing our people win. I'm just thankful.
For sure. And before I forget, where can people follow you, follow Breadless? What's your handles, website, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. So I would definitely say you can follow us on @Breadless on Instagram. You can follow us at Eat Breadless on TikTok. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. I would also say definitely a cheat code is to download our Breadless app on iOS or Google Play. Once you download it and you start ordering from it, you'll get $5 off your first order. You also can earn points on every single purchase. So a lot of you like our chips or our desserts or sandwiches, you can get those points adding up and get something free that you can give a friend or a family member.
Yeah.
So definitely download or go to order.eatbreadless.com. Do it for pickup, curbside, delivery, or catering. Both our Detroit, Rochester Hills areas can do the delivery and all of that. So you want to get sandwiches, you want to get warm bowls, you want to get alfrescas, you want to get vegan desserts, Breadless on chips, cassava, plantain, all of that. Definitely come check us out at 2760 East Larned or 181 South Livernois.
Y'all heard it, and you can see that tech background coming in with the app and being able to order online very efficiently. Very efficiently, the app does work. You do get your $5 off, so make sure that you all tap in.
Thank you for letting them know.
Yeah, of course. And you already know I'll be supporting and continue to root for y'all and support however I can. And
thank you.
Everybody watching, that's another episode. I'll tap in with y'all soon. Peace.